Hey, this is LR Knight with Lionborn Publishing, and I hope that little animation warmed you up a bit. I've been working on these models for a couple of months, and it's time for me to start to do stuff with them. So when I have time, I've been teaching myself a little bit more about the Blender animation tools, and that is one of my first prototype animations that involve coordinating different set pieces, different lighting pieces, and a movable, posable character model, which, speaking of, here he is. Check this bad boy out. So this is a character model that I've been working on for a couple of weeks, on and off. I don't have a lot of time, but this week he kind of became my focus over some of the coding projects that I do for independent study at night. And the goal was to really get that futuristic trooper look while also maintaining a respectable degree of modularity. So on this particular character model, all of this stuff is modular. I can take all of this off and oops, there we go. And he has the textures all over him. So I really tried to think forward into modularity because I'm going to do a couple different armor designs. And my goal is to push these out into 3D printable STLs for you. The downside that I'm running into right now is that the armor does not want to subdivide appropriately, but I will work on that. The base mesh here, this one does a pretty good job. The initial test print was okay. It's a little bit rough, so I'm working on it. But by and large, base mesh works, which will enable me to do different armor sets with minimal fuss. Boom, here we go. Here's what we're going to be talking about for this video this week. In this quick 2-page chunk, there is a lot of new mechanical interaction in Feet First into Hell. And I really like this system. It is optional. Like, you could still play Feet First into Hell version 2.0 without the posture system. But I think that this adds a really fun, unique layer of tactical interactability to your games. So the idea here is not to break apart the action list into 2 chunks where you only have access to one or the other. Instead, the idea is provide a way to pressure other players by being aggressive, or bait other players by being defensive. And it also has the side effect of restricting some of the actions that you can do, and that limits the analysis paralysis that players sometimes get when you have a bunch of different options on the battlefield. So what does this look like? Well, the posture system is designed to give you a tactical dimension to each turn. There are 2 postures, aggressive on the left, defensive on the right. And each one applies some restrictions, but also makes other things available for you. So, for example, if we take a look at the aggressive posture, forgive the floating helmet, adopting the aggressive posture allows your unit to effectively engage with the enemy. It allows you to provide cover fire, and it also allows you to execute whatever your main orders are. So if your orders are to go destroy something, you need to be in the aggressive posture. Units in the aggressive posture can perform any available unit action except retreat and recover. So if you're being aggressive, think about it, it makes sense that you wouldn't be able to retreat. And you can't pause to recover your shields, that's not very aggressive of you. Otherwise, you can do anything. And if you retaliate, you have a 5 up on your retaliation rolls rather than the typical 6. So that's good. These are some of the older character models. If I flip, oh no, it didn't work. Whatever, I'll go back. So at the top of the round, Tom is concerned with engaging the opponent to distract from an objective, so he selects a conscript, declares that it has an aggressive posture, and then chooses to focus and shoot. Later in the round, the conscript is able to effectively retaliate as well. So it affects both your actions and your retaliations. So that's the aggressive posture. The flip side is defensive. So when you adopt the defensive posture, it allows you to lock your unit down, to hunker them down, and make sure that they stay out of unit. So it's a way to improve survivability in a pinch, especially useful when you're outnumbered or when your objective becomes just get the hell away. So units, units in the defensive posture may take any unit action except shoot, fight, focus, and execute. And if you think about it, none of those would be defensive. You can still retaliate though, because retaliation, like if you're thinking blind firing back, think of Han Solo running through the hallway, that's still a defensive action, right? So it doesn't restrict everything, but there is a benefit to being in the defensive posture that improves your survivability as well. So when a unit in the defensive posture is in partial cover, attacks made against that unit suffer an additional -1 penalty. So not only is it the -1, or you drop a roll when you drop one successful roll because they're in cover, but all the other shots also hit a -1 because they're really hunkered down. So, and when you react to diving or parry, they get a +1 bonus to the roll because this unit is entirely focused on the survivability. So they're going to crouch extra harder into that bulwark. They're going to dive extra harder because they don't want to die. So the example here is the distraction gambit works, but now the conscript is under heavy fire and likely to die because conscripts don't have shields and they've got like 2 hit points. Next round, Tom will activate the unit and declare it has a defensive posture. Now it's able to move and recover, escaping around a corner and gaining a cover bonus if it's pursued. So he could have moved if he was aggressive, but he could not have recovered, which I guess this doesn't really make sense because the conscript shouldn't have shields. I might have to fix this, but the idea is the same. Like you can move, get 2 inches away from an enemy that's pursuing you, recover your shields or whatever you need to do, and then you tuck into cover and hopefully benefit from that. So a posture is always declared when your unit is activated, and it gives you tactical choices in the moment, and it does have some repercussions on your downstream reaction availability, your eligibility to react. Sorry, it's early and my brain's not working yet. So that's it. It's 2 pages, but what I did do is, if I scroll down, I introduced this sooner, but on each of these, move is not affected by posture, so it doesn't mention it here. Shoot is though, and so here it's in yellow, so posture aggressive. So you can only shoot if you're in the aggressive posture, and I tried to indicate it on each of the new pages for explaining what the different moves are. So here it is, posture defensive. So if you're ever not sure, you can flip right to the page and see. There will also be a player printable that has the postures on 2 sides of a card, and there will be a column on the 1-page core rule sheet that shows off all of the available moves with those minimal descriptions. It'll just have an A or a D for the posture. That way you know what you're getting yourself into. So yeah, that's it. The posture system is new. It's optional if you really don't like playing with that type of crunchy detail. You don't have to. I am not going to enforce how you play Feet First into Hell. I'm just going to ask that you have a good time while you're doing it. But in my games, I'm finding the posture thing really kind of ups the cinematic quality of the game, and it gives you something to think about other than just what dice am I going to roll, which I like. So you can see here, this is the direction the graphics are going for this page. The newer model will be mixed in here, but probably we're going to have more of these line drawings. I like them. They're hand-drawn. I like taking the extra bit of time to do the little bit of detailing, so I got to go over and draw these guys. This will get replaced. This is a placeholder image. But yeah, if you've got thoughts on the layout, if you've got thoughts on the mechanic, if you've got questions about how it works, or if you're just looking forward to it, drop a comment on the video. Subscribe to the Lionborn Publishing channel. We're trying to build a way to communicate new changes coming down the pipe to our audience. And I will be back maybe this weekend, depending on how holiday stuff goes. And I think we are going to look at... no, you know what? I'll leave it a surprise. That way maybe you come back. So, All right, this is LR Knight. Stay fierce, have fun, may the dice roll in your favor, and if you're in the U.S., happy Thanksgiving, and I hope that you eat yourself silly. See you next week.